So we'll see if the Ryders can pull back into a tie here and take it to a map number 3, which looks like it would be on Dula Dawn. So that might favor them a little bit more, but there's a squid on Northern Fjords from a
I'm
team
pretty
that's
sure that's not gonna happen.
okay. Oh no, there's a squid still on the Ryders side.
It's gonna get fixed.
Okay, there we go. All right.
People
Hey
not
guys,
being where they're supposed to be.
everything makes sense once again.
There's
Dimensional
still
now
no
back
spire.
as
I'm calling out the
captaining.
community. We need a spire. I need to see one.
Yeah, inspired at some point, maybe, possibly, guys. Although personally, I really like lumberjack spires on Northern Fjords. I think they can do extremely well.
I don't. Yeah, a lot of people. You can't go to the arch with a spire. That's the problem. That big old arch that tends to be the focal point of a lot of fights on fjords.
Yeah, I think if you get red
Because
spawn with a spire and sit around Canny Mountain, you could do well.
well, it's interesting because you can't go. You can't bob up and down with the spire because what are you going to do? Your balloon's going to be there first, and there's no guns, and it's just like, hey, the spire's coming up, guys. Let's shoot it.
Yeah, well, and
Have to if you go down. I've always wanted to try that.
yeah, especially if you're, facing a ram happy Pyrus. I don't know.
Eh,
You need a lot of vertical movement at that point too, which I personally like to take. I
it's funny
if
that
I'm on a spire, I will actually usually take both shoot vent and hydrogen.
well, it's funny that the spire has yay, it's got the vertical movement, but it's so tall that missing a ram is very sketch.
Yeah, that's definitely sure. All right, so we'll see if the Riders stick with their plan here. We are going double Junker now on the Sky Invading Rhino side, so they've gone double Pyra. Now they're going double Junker. Let's see what do they got going
I see
on these
mercs.
ships. Yep, that's definitely double
I
Mercs.
see mercs on one ship, so
The other one is still got the Hades light flag, so they've definitely got that long range possibility. Now I know that you personally really like the double Merc setup. I know that some other folks maybe like one, but not two.
one always just feels so alone. Like I don't feel that one does enough on its own unless you have like two guns supporting it. So on the side of a galleon or on the side of or on like a mobula where if you got one shooting, you usually have two other guns shooting too. But if you can only have like on a junker, if you can only have two, or on a Pyrrha, if you can only have two, I would say put both of them as mercs because it does pay back.
And I think against the Mobula, I've seen double Mercs do very well against Mobulas. Even the Mobula having such low health in general, even if basically with Mercs, you strip the armor, right? But you're not going to do a whole lot of damage. However, against Mobulas, I've seen double Mercs be very effective at actually just straight up killing Mobulas. So I think that's a decent build to bring you, especially in this situation.
Scrim is asking if you are ready.
Oh, yeah, we're all good. We're all set. All right, so this is once again Community Skirmish number 8. And we are in the second semifinal. The winner of this best of 3 will go on to face the Sky Bible Adventure Club in the finals. This is match number 2, and the Ryders, as you can see up the top, is up 1-0. Hopefully we'll get started just momentarily as these last minute changes, last minute talks going on. Mobula still gonna be chosen, and we'll see if the Junker's ready on up once again. They were ready a second ago, but
yeah, I'm definitely not surprised Mobile's still making a comeback. Although I will be interested to see what it does for the against double mercs.
Yeah.
I know given my experiences with being on a Mobula against double mercs, if you're above them, you're doing good. If you're below them, you're not.
Yep. Of course.
So easy to hit the hull armor because it arcs down, so
yeah.
it will just hit the top plate, and that's all.
Well, and the Mercuries themselves don't have very good, up and down movement. It's basically, you're gonna want to be firing from at least the same level that the thing you're trying to shoot at. All right, so we are getting readies on up here. We got just a few seconds as we are getting into this match number 2 between Invading Rhinos and Ryders. We will see if the Ryders can move on with this, or if the Invading Rhinos can send us into a map number 3. As my loading is going rather slow.
Yeah, mine too. It's all right.
There we go. All right, so we are on Northern Fjords. Very large map, very open areas, but there's quite a lot of
Very
cloud
high
cover as well.
ceiling. I do like the very high ceiling.
Very high ceiling and a very slanted map going downwards, so a lot of room to fall. So you don't usually see too many carronades or blending going on here. But let's get a quick rundown of ships on the Fancy. Once again, Dementio's Mobula. We've got a carronade and a flamethrower on the bottom deck, Artemis, Mercury, and Artemis on the tops. And on the LibGTK, we've got the Metamidian once more. Oh, no, actually, that's not a Metamidian. That's a Gatling
carronade.
Carronade.
Seen this before. It's interesting.
Yeah, and we've got a Banshee flare gun on the side. That is Luosi's ships. What's going on with the blue ships, still?
Oh, God, these names. I'm going to call it Pata, just because.
I think it's just a Scold Pata.
Scold Pata. It's piloted by Phelan. We've got the double Merc side. We've got a flare front. And we've got a Gat mortar side. And for the Lud, thank you for that name, we've got the One Sols, who has an Artemis, Hades Artemis, and a Gat mortar. Lots of action going on.
Yep, and LibGTK has kind of snuck around, climbed up from behind.
Well, he's taking a lot of
arch.
Punishment.
But yeah, Lud has seen this and just gets right on up out of those arcs, and LibGTK will fly back down, and that leaves Fancy up here spotted by himself.
Open. Yes, and now you've got the double Mercs, the Arts, and the Hades just
yeah, both the Lud
came running in here. Yep, here we go.
Doing a decent job against the Fancy haul down, which is going to happen a lot here in this matchup with that double Merc coming from the Skulpata.
But LibGTK is going to take that focus now, I believe.
Unfortunately, they're not in range of that Gatling on the Skulpata.
Nope, and his whole armor goes, and now he's going to start losing
and he's taking a lot of damage here, but does get his armor back up barely.
He does, and they will not chase him down. Instead, I think they will start shooting at Fancy. Yes, they will.
Still a few shots actually from the Lud going down onto LibGTK
80 shots going down on LibGTK. Hull down again, forcing him underneath the archway.
Yeah, and you don't really want to get to that other side, because if you get down onto the side, that's when you get into that blue spawn area, and you can really have those two junkers just drop right down on you, turn their Gat mortars.
Fancy taking a lot of focus fire now. Double Merc doing its work.
Yep. And this is kind of what happens with the double Merc against the Mobula, but really this is just a really good setup here by the Invading Rhinos. If LibGTK sticks his nose up, they go after him.
Fancy! And a Merc shot puts him out of misery.
Yep, and Rhinos are just content at letting the LibGTK bounce up and down, and if he pops up, turn your focus on him. Otherwise, shoot at the Fancy.
GTK doesn't have the range, and they know exactly where he is, and he's kind of a non-issue down there.
Yeah, he's not really going to be able to do much of anything. That Gat mortar. Now, Lud's getting a little bit ahead of himself here, but I think the Skulpata.
They want to surround him.
This can go very badly for LibGTK here as that Gatling starts firing already. Skulpata waiting on the other side. Will they be able to get on as well?
Yep. Forcing him out of there and forcing his hand, but he will get out of there. That Gatling's going to lose range right there, and now they're going to have to flip it.
And now the Fancy actually has a really good beat here on the Lud.
Yeah, a good beat on the Lud.
But Lud trying to get up out of here. Shots coming in.
Skulpata not wanting to let LibGTK out of here, and with good reason. They want that second kill.
Yep,
LibGTK they do get it.
Going down low.
Down.
Ooh, huge collision there by the LibGTK. No. Kills all of its momentum. They're trying to hydro on up now to get on out of there, but armor down, and oh my god, I think they collided with the Lud, and that will finish them off. So terrible set of events there for the LibGTK. First bouncing into the side of the glacier pillar over here, and then bouncing into the Lud to kill them off.
Lud's taking a lot of fire. Needs to keep going up like he is. Good job. Hull armor down. Get it up. Get it up.
Oh, and here come the Artemis shots, but
Hey,
last few
up.
of those miss.
Yeah.
So
Now it's
Lud managed to get out of there for that, but still, so many components dead.
Flared now, spotted. He's gonna start taking a lot of fire.
Yep, Skull Patta now turning. Is it Skull Patta with the double merc?
Skull
Yes,
Patta
it is.
is the one with the double merc. Yes.
So Fancy's going to start taking the double merc fire, but Spot has been lost now, so it's kind of just blind firing. Still connecting
Lip
with the
GTK coming in though. You know, just
charging
not giving a care in the world. He kind of has to. I can't fault him.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it's got to be right around
He's kind
the
of
archway.
forged his own hand. He's got that carronade on the front, and while yes, it is a good play against junkers like this, not on maps this big.
Yeah, not especially when you got
And
very
now
long range stuff coming from both of those junkers. You know, maybe I could see this being a better case if they were hanging around Candy Mountain.
Yes, maybe, but
in this position, it's
not-
going to be very hard
yeah.
to do much of anything.
exactly, this is not in favor of them at all.
I think it's a gap carronade too, so it's not even like they have very good killing power with that. They're really dependent on the Fancy being able to connect with those Artemis shots, or just using that carronade to ride the junkers into the ground.
Good shots coming in from the Lud.
Oh, Skull Pad actually might. Oh, LibGTK going up high. If they were down low, they may have been actually good to fire at the Skull Pata, but instead they go up high to see what they can do, and that'll allow Skull Pata to get right back on up here.
Yep. And now we're just dancing around the archway again.
Yeah, it's kind of how this goes on this map.
Sometimes. The thing is that usually the game starts here, and it goes one of two directions. It either stays here or it starts moving.
Yeah,
Which,
and now Skull Pata
here's
and
a
Lud are
bit of
actually turning around the side here.
Yeah, they're going to
LibGTK
the LibGTK
getting
taking.
caught once again.
Yep, he's
Skull
not charging.
Skull Pata decides to go right back around the archway and wants no part of this double team by the Fancy and the LibGTK here.
Nope.
Oh, but the Lud is in range.
That is an interesting spot for you.
Oh, Fancy getting ahead of itself here.
Oh yes,
Skull
very
Pata's waiting.
much so.
Oh, and he bumps
Getting
against the
tired of
archway
waiting,
now.
and now you've got mercs coming in on you.
Yep, Fancy still trying to rise on up here, taking permanent damage by
Fancy,
dragging himself
Fancy
against
loses
here.
perma,
Oh,
and that's
no.
just not pretty.
That's just not gone well at all here for the Ryder team. They just continue to get put in bad position after bad position. I have no idea what Fancy was really trying to accomplish there.
Me either. Most of his guns are long range, so really don't know.
I understand they were trying to go after the Lud, but you really want to get to the other side of the archway, and in a manner which you bounce yourself against the top of it, and then you drag yourself across it. That's just going to do so much damage to yourself, and that's the least thing that you need.
That's right. And we do have a pause now because we do have a disconnect from Lochnagar on the Skirmish Ryders.
Yep. Or what? It's in the Skull Pata. Okay.
Yep.
Hopefully it'll be back in a few moments. Of course, we do sometimes have drops like this happen. Disconnects do occur in games where internet connections are a necessary thing. Yeah, it looks like he lost his connection entirely, so we'll wait around for a little bit, see what's going on.
Oh well,
back
looks like
on.
he's coming back.
Yep.
Good,
So
then we
let's
will
see.
get underway very shortly.
He is back on in here, so we should get this game restarted in just a matter of moments.
And in this particular, looking at the map, well, Sir still has that upper head. They've got that archway pretty much on lock, and
I mean, they've just been taking advantage of that the entire time.
Jeez, excuse me. Riders have not been able to approach them with any kind of success.
Yeah, they have gotten some damage down on the Lud, as you can see, but not nearly enough to, definitely not enough to get a kill, but not nearly enough to really make it that dangerous either.
Yeah.
Lud's just gonna continue hanging right on top of here, and Skullpata is just gonna continue using those mercs, and they have 3 kills. So, even if the timer starts running down, it's definitely in Sky Invading Rhino's favor. They've just completely controlled basically every single aspect of this match, or this particular match so far.
That's right. And now we've got the fire coming in on Fancy.
Oh,
Merc's coming down.
coming around the side here. He's going to try to
Go.
rise on up. Looks like he's going to go after Skullpata. Fancy, however, has lost a
Now
lot
this
of
is what
armor once
LibGTK
more.
needed to do a long time ago.
Yep, nice ram on the Skullpata. Can they continue doing something against this Junker? And the way that the Skullpata is actually falling right now, if this continues, they're going to bump right into that
that's gonna be
pillar.
really
But
bad.
the LibGTK actually has to get on out of here as it's getting double gatted now.
Got focused down. Fancy started looking at Lud when LibGTK started going after Skullpata. No focus, and that really hurt them.
Yeah, they use some hydrogen
LibGTK had to just basically get on out of there. Lud's hull going down.
Yep, and if any shots could have followed that up, they could do
Oh,
some
well.
large amounts of damage. And armor was down for a sec there. Just managed to get it back up. So nice little break there by the Ryders to get damage onto both of these ships and put himself in a pretty good position.
They're finally starting to put the pressure on, and it's starting to take a bite out of them. They started, I think, Sky Invading Rhinos started to feel a little comfortable, and now they can't. They let their guard down, and LibGTK did what he needed to do. He charged. He finally charged, and he didn't take any damage for it, which is very good.
Yeah,
Fancy now, though, taking a good amount of damage. He will hopefully sink down.
As what will happen with those Mercuries, and yes, he will. Oh, but
Will
taking
still
some
take
damage
some
here.
perma. He will still take some perma before he gets down.
And Balloon is getting a lot of hurt on it as well. However, it didn't catch on fire from those Hades shots, which, always nice to not have to worry about putting out fires.
LibGTK is taking advantage of the fact that they're so close to this. Lud starting now to put some speculative fire on there. LibGTK hitting him with his Carronade.
Yeah, they finally realized that they definitely have to keep an eye on the clouds under that archway because LibGTK definitely wants
Fancy
to approach
coming
that
in,
way.
starting to put a lot of pressure on Lud. They know that he is hurting. They know that they need to focus him down.
Yep, LibGTK, however, returning some nice fire, knocking out some guns on the Fancy. That Merc gun on the Fancy went down, I believe, so.
LibGTK going in again, doing another run, but he makes a bad bounce on the arch.
But Lud is actually going up instead of down, and that's going to leave LibGTK to fire off at the Skullpata again. Skullpata losing his balloon, and now Lud coming on in.
And then Fancy's going to lose arch if he's not careful.
Yeah, now double gat fire going on LibGTK once more. Skullpata takes a little bit of a bounce there. Armor and balloon are down and perma damage, but both of these blue ships are so incredibly hurt.
Lud's is going to get sandwiched here, and it's going to be 3-1.
Yep, so good job there by the Ryders. Now Sky Invading Rhinos have to be very careful here now, not to get into a meat grind, as Skullpata will probably end up dying here.
You need to hurry, and get that kill, because Skullpata is just rising right up into them, and that is...
So trying to get out of that arc, trying to do some fancy maneuvering, but balloon is down already, and here comes the permanent hull damage.
There you go. 3-2. Turned around as quick as you thought.
That's definitely the firepower that they had capable. It's just until that moment
they couldn't
there.
get it quite organized, I would say. Like, LibGTK wasn't charging like he needed to, and the Fancy would be just left out in the open and nothing happening. So finally, LibGTK went in there, get some good positions, and those two front guns will be... It's very interesting that front because those front two guns, the Gatling Carronade, because you'll pop the balloon, and when you pop the balloon and you shoot a dead balloon, all that armor
that transfers to the hull. Yeah,
the hull on a Junker, that's dangerous.
Very dangerous indeed. Now, part of that engagement. The reason why it went so well for the Ryders is because the Lud happened to go up right at the same time that the LibGTK had come through and just kind of left them right on to wreak havoc on the Skullpata. Now, both blue teams waited for each other until they could both spawn in the same place, so they are going to get a nice little setup here once more. Very good job there, at least. Very good awareness by Sky Invading Rhinos to not A, spawn in a bad place, and B, to basically spawn at the same time.
Very much. Although you have Lud. Where are you going, sir?
He's going forth, and Flare there lights up the sky. It's going to let
He's
Lud
gonna
know.
go over.
Yeah, and the Skullpad is sitting behind still. However, the Lud is behind both of these ships. And this could really go either way right now, as the Lud is getting that Gat Fire onto the Libs
Yeah,
DK, and both these red ships are no way to assist.
Hi, and yeah, Lud is definitely here.
But now the Lud is in between this
but
dual fire. Skullpad just turned his mercs. I thought the Skullpad was going to come in with his Gat mortar and try to blitz down the Lib GTK
I'm surprised they're not focusing Fancy. Lib GTK running away is short front. Doesn't matter now. Fancy's going to get a lot of work done on the Lud.
But you got to be careful. That Mobula can get taken down rather quickly as well. Skullpad is still using that Artemis.
All of the guns on Lud are out. All of them.
Yeah, so it's really good for Fancy there, because otherwise it may have been dead.
Lib GTK is going to come in here, start taking out everything.
Balloon armor down. Will they get the kill? Yes, they will. And I think they came from the Fancy. Yes. Tied. Yeah, it is a tie game. Yes, and Lib GTK now coming right after Skullpad. Now, where will the Lud decide to respawn? Will they decide to respawn?
It's not
right next to here.
I don't know if he spawns right in here. Yep. Okay. So.
Yep, so Lud spawns right into the action.
They have to be so careful. Skullpad just losing everything.
There goes his balloon, and now there goes his armor, and now there goes the fire from the Fancy, and very good focus fire here.
The GTK's whole armor's down, but the Artemis, I don't think are going to have enough power.
Oh, still some nice 80s shots coming in, but they managed to get their armor back up, and this might be the end
Lud
of the Rhinos
is in a very
here.
bad spot. They made a play, and I don't think.
Yeah, that armor is going down. Everything is on fire, and the Lud's sinking down. And so the Ryders come back from being down 3-0 to win match number 2 as well.
That's right.
And basically, as soon as they broke the line of the Sky Invading Rhinos, that was it.
Yeah, that's all they had to do. They broke that line there, and as soon as they did, it was just a slow and steady.
It was still a little bit of an interesting decision by the Lud at the end to go up over that archway there.
Yeah,
and then,
he just got sandwiched, and then.
Well, then Skullpad didn't even he turned his mercs on, and I thought he was gonna come in and try to take the. They were trying to, I don't know, double team the Lib GTK or something, but.
So did I.
That's not how that ended up taking place. So that victory will go on to the Ryders, and so they will go on to the finals to face against the Sky Bible Adventure Club for our final match of the day.
Get the hype train.
Should be quite a matchup between two very solid teams. But you know what? Let's take a quick little break here, give ourselves a chance to refresh ourselves. So we'll be back with the finals in just a few minutes, guys. Stay tuned.